Good evening, everybody, and I'd like to welcome you to my presentation about Penn State's 46-hour dance marathon called THON, and specifically donating to THON. Cancer has affected everybody in this room, one way or another. You personally could have had cancer yourself. A mother or father could have had cancer, brother or sister, the list goes on. But I know that everybody here, somehow, some way, has unfortunately been affected by this horrible disease. Every school day, 43 children are diagnosed with cancer. And this terrible fact means that there is so much stress on not only the kids who just have been diagnosed, but also the families who now have to think about coming up with the funds to pay for this treatment. I've been volunteering in THON for 4 years now, and I actually had the privilege in dancing in THON this past year, as well as getting to work with families and kids every single year I've been involved, which has been absolutely amazing. So now what actually is THON? THON is a 46-hour, no sitting, no sleeping dance marathon. And when I say 46 hours, I mean 46 hours. And when I say no sitting, no sleeping, I mean it. You are on your feet. You cannot sit down, no excuses. And it's something else. If you dance, you're assigned almost a buddy to watch you throughout the whole time. And it's one of those things where you really have to go and see it to believe it. THON, the proceeds donated benefit the Four Diamonds Foundation at Penn State Hershey's Children's Hospital. Now, you hear me mention THON as well as Four Diamonds Foundation almost interchangeably. Just know that you're donating, if you donate to THON, you're physically donating to the Four Diamonds Foundation. And finally, THON raises awareness and funds to help fight pediatric cancer or childhood cancer. So what we're talking about today, we're going to talk about why donations or donating to THON is necessary. We'll talk about how you can physically donate to THON. And finally, we'll hear some firsthand testimonies of how your donation affects those children battling cancer. So why does THON need donations? Well, bottom line is cancer treatment is expensive. It's very expensive, and most families cannot afford, to cover the cost themselves. And we've seen that with most of the families that we've interacted, and it's the truth. These medical costs are very expensive. Just look at this stat right here: $500,000 is the average cost of cancer treatment for just one child. Not many people have $500,000, just laying away. And also, we're researching, we're fighting for a cure, right? So the funds go to help fund research to top scientists at Penn State Hershey, which they're doing an amazing job, and they're coming up with some awesome stuff. So I want to look a little bit more by the numbers here. This graphic is found at thon.org/bythenumbers. Once again, that is thon.org/bythenumbers. I want to focus up top. We are working so that no family has to see this bill. I can't emphasize that enough. It's one of the most amazing things about THON is no family ever has to see a medical bill. It's amazing. The gratitude that they tell all the volunteers is phenomenal. So we saw our $500,000 stat. $10,000 is the cost of a newly improved cancer drug for just 1 month. $40,000 is the average cost of a stay in a hospital for one child per day, and that's nearly 5 times the amount of any other pediatric condition. So as we see, these costs are very expensive. Next, we'll talk about how you can actually donate, and it's very simple. If you go to thon.org, once again, that is thon.org, you'll see this Donate Now button in the top right corner. If you just click that, you'll come down here to this screen. You're able to select the dollar amount, or if you don't see it down here, you can physically type it in. Next, you'll just have to answer a couple of questions, mostly regarding your relationship to Penn State, your name, etc. like that. It's very user-friendly. There should be no complications. Finally, once you're done filling everything out, you'll click Donate with Credit Card down at the bottom. You'll fill out your credit card information and then make the donation. Again, very user-friendly, and it's very easy to figure out. You're also able to donate through Penn State students. So being from the Bucks County area, I'm sure many of you have experienced a Penn State student out on the corner canning, knocking on your door, canvassing, asking for money. I encourage you to open the door and at least talk to them, even if you don't donate at that moment, but they work really hard. Every volunteer does, and it's great to just give them the time of day and hear them out. So, how your donation affects these children and their families. I've been emphasizing a lot. Donation takes so much stress off of these families, wondering how they'll come up with the money. Not everybody has $500,000 to just spend. And I was actually reading an article. It's by Miss Kilmovich from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review, and she says, "quote The families believe so much in the power of THON," Colin says. "They want to give back in some way, and we wanted to share their unbelievable stories." End quote. It's just another example of how thankful and grateful these families are, and they want to give back to us in any way. They come to THON, they come to all of our different fundraisers and events. They want to give back in any way they can because they are just so grateful. And also, when you donate, you allow these kids to be kids. I got a chance to grow up. Thankfully, I was healthy, played sports, had a great childhood. These kids spend their days in a hospital room, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. So when you donate, you allow them, to battle this cancer and give them a chance to grow up. Just have some awesome pictures here that I would like everybody to see. But first, I would like to quote. I had an interview with the THON captain. Her name was Alex Tobar, and Alex said, "quote As a captain and someone who danced, I've seen the impact we make on these families and kids. THON is their Christmas morning, and somewhere these kids can finally be kids." End quote. This is Alex down here in the bottom left when she danced. But look, this is Leland Smith. He is a Four Diamonds child, and you can see that is probably one of the brightest smiles I've ever seen on his face. Getting to interact with him, and you can see this middle picture here, kind of down here. See just how much of a party it really is for these kids, and they just have the time of their lives. It's absolutely amazing, and I cannot speak highly enough of it. So to conclude, we talked about why donations are necessary, and that's because these families, can't afford the cost, and we also like to fund for research. How you can donate, and you can see you can donate a couple different ways, online, as well as through Penn State students. And finally, you heard some awesome testimonies of how your donation affects those children battling cancer. So I'd like to call on all of you. To reach in your hearts and donate just $10 today to THON. That's all it takes is $10. I know it may seem small. It's only the amount of Chipotle or 2 Starbucks cups, but $10, something small, could add up to something big, and we can really make a difference in the lives of these children battling cancer. Thank you so much for coming out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.